Hello everyone and welcome back to Civic Math. In part 1, we learned that Maryland changed its position on independence in just 38 days. We examined the colony's population, economy, geography, and the critical decision that brought Maryland into the movement for independence. Today, we are going to meet the people who carried that decision forward. Who were Maryland leaders? How many people did they represent? What did they risk? And why were they willing to place their names on a document that could have cost them everything? Let's find out. Section 1, the four men representing 250,000 people. By 1776, Maryland's population, as we said, was but 250,000 people. 4 million signers eventually signed the Declaration of Independence. So, population 250,000. Signers 4. Ratio 62,500. So each of the signers representing Maryland represented 62,500 people. Think about that. 4 men, 250,000 people. One historic decision. Okay. In section 2, let's look at one of the most influential person in Maryland politics. That was Charles Carroll of Carrollton. Among Maryland signers, Charles Carroll was perhaps the wealthiest. He owned extensive land holdings and was one of the richest men in the colonies. Who had more to lose, a poor farmer or one of the wealthiest men in America? Large wealth multiplied by political risk is equal to large sacrifice. Okay. Carroll understood that if the revolution failed, much of his property and influence could disappear, if he's lucky. If he's not, it's a whole different ballgame. Yet he signed anyway. Okay. In section 3, okay, Samuel Chase was known for his energy, determination, and strong support for independence. If some leaders hesitated, Samuel Chase pushed forward. He spent months helping convince others that independence was necessary. Imagine trying to persuade a colony of 250,000 people. You don't need to convince everyone, but you do need enough support to move the colony forward. Leadership often involves changing minds one conversation at a time. Third person to look into is in section 4 is William Packer. Okay. William Packer was a lawyer and a political leader. Like many signers, he believed the colonies should govern themselves. So for him, right multiplied by representation is equal self-government. For Packer, independence was not simply about taxes. It was about who should make decisions for the people of Maryland. In section 5, let's look at Thomas Stone. Thomas Stone is sometimes less remembered than the other founders, but his signature carried the same risk. The Declaration did not distinguish between famous signers and less known signers. Every signature represented a commitment. How many signatures were on the Declaration of Independence? Okay, we have 56 folks who signed. Maryland contributed 4 of those. So 4 out of 56, that's roughly about 7.1%. Okay. Maryland provided 7.1% or 7% of declaration signers. Okay. In section 6, the risk calculation. The declaration was not merely a political statement, it was a gamble. The signers understood that Britain would view their action as treason. Britain winning carried heavy consequences. Property will be lost, wealth will be lost, freedom will be lost, reputation will be lost, and sometimes life will be lost. So the colonies gaining that meant independence, self-government, and liberty. The signers knew both possibilities existed, yet they chose to proceed. Okay. In section 7, why Maryland decision mattered. If we recall from part 1, May 21st, 1776, Maryland was a no. June 28, 1776, Maryland was a yes. July 4th, 1776, independence is declared. Independence is declared. Without Maryland's support, achieving colonial unity would have been much more difficult. Maryland's decision came near the end of the process, but sometimes the final pieces are the ones that complete the puzzle. In section 8, the people that decided for Maryland. So Charles Carroll brought wealth and influence. Samuel Chase brought determination. William Packer brought legal and political experience. Thomas Stone brought commitment and conviction. Each contributed something different. Together, they helped carry Maryland into independence, and together, they helped create a nation. Next time, we'll step back and look at all 14 colonies together. We'll compare population, distances, ages, risk, and decisions. And we'll discover why 1776 was more than a political event. It was a calculation. History tells us what happened. Math helps us understand why it mattered. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe, share it with one person, and we'll see you next time.